Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and let's go and take a visit to the Merthyr Tydfil Iron and Steel Works. High in the valleys of South Wales lies a town that once stood at the very heart of the Industrial Revolution. Merthyr Tydfil. A place where fire, iron and innovation shaped not only Wales, but the world. Today we take into the skies to uncover the story of Merthyr Tydfil Iron and Steel Works, once the largest and most important in the world. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Merthyr wasn't just another Welsh valley town. It was the powerhouse of industry. At its peak, it was the iron capital of the world, producing iron and steel that built railways, ships, bridges, and weapons that changed history forever. The story begins in the mid-1700s. Rich deposits of iron ore, coal and limestone surrounded Merthyr, the perfect recipe for iron making. Entrepreneurs quickly saw the potential, and 4 giant ironworks rose here: Dowlais, Cyfarthfa, Pen-y-Daran and Plymouth. In 1765, Anthony Bacon established the Cyfarthfa Ironworks. Under the Crochet family, it became legendary. Richard Crochet, known as the Iron King, transformed Merthyr into the beating heart of global iron production. The scale was staggering by the early 1800s. The ironworks employed thousands. The furnaces burned day and night, their fiery glow lighting the valley skies. The noise from hammering steam engines and roaring furnaces could be heard for miles. But with this prosperity came hardship. Workers endured brutal conditions: 12-hour shifts, dangerous machinery and poor housing. Disease, injury and poverty were part of daily life in Merthyr. Yet the people's resilience built one of the greatest industrial towns in history. In 1804, Merthyr Tydfil made history once again. At Pen-y-Daran, engineer Merthyr Tydfil built the world's first steam locomotive to run on rails. His invention hauled 10 tons of iron along the Merthyr tram road, a glimpse into a future where steam power would transform the world. The Dowlais Ironworks, founded in 1759, became one of the largest ironworks in the world. By the mid-19th century, it employed over 7,000 workers and exported iron across the globe. It even pioneered steel making with the Bessemer process, placing Merthyr at the cutting edge of technology. Cyfarthfa Castle, built in 1825, was the grand home of the Crochet family. A symbol of the wealth that iron brought. From this hill, the Iron Kings looked down over the furnaces and workers that made their fortune. Yet the story of Merthyr was not just one of industry, but also of struggle. In 1831, workers protested against pay cuts and harsh conditions in what became known as the Merthyr Rising. Thousands marched, demanding justice. The red flag, a symbol of workers' revolt, was flown for the first time in Britain, right here in Merthyr Tydfil. This moment marked Merthyr as not just an industrial giant, but also a birthplace of the fight for workers' rights. But as the 19th century moved on, the great furnaces began to fall silent. Competition from abroad, new technologies, and exhausted resources led to decline. And by the early 20th century, the mighty ironworks of Merthyr were closing one by one. Dowlais survived the longest, producing steel until 1936. But the age of Merthyr's Iron Kings was over. The town that had once led the world faced hardship, unemployment, and change. Yet the legacy of Merthyr Tydfil's ironworks lives on. Iron and steel from these valleys built the railways of America, the ships of Britain's empire, and the great structures of the industrial age. The workers' struggles helped shape modern democracy and workers' rights, and the stories remained etched into the landscape. Today, as the valleys return to green and the furnaces fall silent, Merthyr's story continues to inspire. This was a town that forged the modern world in fire and iron. From innovation to revolution, from glory to decline, Merthyr Tydfil remains one of the most important chapters in Welsh and global history. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Welsh Industrial Revolution. And don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell, so you never miss another aerial adventure into history. Until next time, keep looking to the skies. So that was it, the Merthyr Iron Works in Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales.